What's up? What's up? What's happening? Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a long time since I've been on here making some type of vlog, day in the life, something like that. So for today's intro, I decided to do it. A lot of you guys have been asking me for more day in the lives and more lifestyle content about what I do and what is it that I do on a day-to-day basis. So I'm gonna start doing them. Recently I've been very locked into my trading, just trying to increase the accuracy of my trading and just trying to really lock in. And it's been going insanely well. For example, this past week, I took 2 trades, no losses, just wins. And one of the trades I'm still in right now, active, but the other one, it hit my full take profit. I didn't close out at the full take profit. I closed out right before then, but it hit my full take profit. So absolutely insane. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this type of content. Like I said, first of all, the weather recently has been horrible, so haven't really been going out because of that. But even if I was doing something fun, to be honest, I probably still wouldn't be recording it because I'm really bad at recording the fun moments that I do. But I'm gonna get better at that because it's what the people want. So I just have to put in an effort and make it happen. But let me know in the comments below if that's something you actually want to see. But yeah, I'm thinking about mixing it in with the trading content, maybe just for the intros, and then we get into the charts, etc. But right here, this trade, this is the main one that was a really good trade this week. As you see, I have to get rid of these fucking ads on TradingView. I've been running on the free version for a couple of weeks now, just saving that $100, but I just gotta gotta get it. So anyways, let's get straight into the chart. Let me know if you want to see more of this content. I'm extremely excited to do it because it's gonna force me to go out and actually do stuff. Sometimes as traders, all we simply do is we just stay home and we just trade. We lock in, we work, we make money, but then we don't go out and actually have fun. So I'm happy about that. And I want to go out and do it. So let's get into this video and into the charts.
All right, this should be working. Hopefully I look good. I think I did with the fresh cut I got today. So let's get straight into the breakdown of the week. The first thing that I did was I started off on the daily time frame. This is usually where I start off my higher time frame analysis, my top down. I'll start it on the daily, and what I did was I came on here, I basically went one by one on the daily until I found NZDCAD. We were at 1.61, which is a psychological level. It's a psychological area of resistance where a lot of sellers came into play. The way you know a lot of sellers came into play is this huge bearish candle. That massive bearishness shows you that there's a lot of sellers in the market at the 161 price level. We continued to go down for another couple of daily candles until we reached support down at 157,750. This is also a psychological level. It may not be as strong as 161, but I will consider it to be 158 psychological level just because it's so close to it that all in all on the daily, you could have these zones be larger. And I would mark up that the 158 psychological was what got rejected here so hard. Once that got rejected super hard, we came bullish back up to 160. At the start of this week, here on Monday, we had a bearish candle, a second bearish candle, but that was the first hint because on that second bearish candle on Tuesday, the market really struggled to go bearish. So obviously, if we're bouncing off of support at 158 and we had a massive bullish engulfing candlestick, which is this candle right here, then okay, where do you think the market's going to go? Because if it's struggling to go down, then I'm thinking, all right, then we're probably going to start going bullish off of the next daily candle. And that's what I saw on Wednesday with the formation of this daily candle. So I want you guys to take a look at the price at which this candle basically started printing, which is 1.59,420, give or take. Because now we go into the 4 hour. Notice how that's my exact entry point on this trade, right where the daily candle started forming. Because my confirmation was the daily, the past two candles had rejected the bottom. So it's pretty obvious, like, okay, if we're rejecting the bottom, then all we simply need is now the new candles to start forming to the upside. On the 4 hour, we actually have a nice break and retest. This is a beautiful break and retest right here, where the market rejected the downside massively. Specifically, what I saw was we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rejection wicks to the downside. And that's not even counting these two. If not, this would be 6 and 7 rejection wicks to the downside. Now, where are the wicks to the upside? This one doesn't count, it's too small. Maybe you could count 2 or 3 wicks here to the top. So you have 3 top wicks and 7 bottom wicks. Obviously, the market is rejecting the downside way stronger than the upside. So you just look at this, and then the market is getting tighter and tighter. It's just squeezing into this zone, into this consolidation. Where is it going to finally squeeze into? The upside. And that's exactly what I saw here once the market started to pull back into this 4 hour area of support. But to find the entry, you can't see it here on the 4 hour. So you got to go down into the 1 hour. We're going to see something that looks a little bit like choppiness, but what I knew to look for was the retest. I knew that now that we had gotten that breakout above 159.300, this little support slash resistance area, all we simply got to do is wait for the break and retest. So we got the break, and then notice how slow price was as it was coming down into the retest. Once we had this bullish candle forming, literally a couple of hours before New York open, I knew like, okay, come on, we're forming a bullish engulfing 2 hours before New York open. This is definitely gonna go bullish. Now let me pull out my phone to tell you exactly where I got out of this trade, because I did not catch this whole move, unfortunately, because I thought it was gonna reverse and pull back. I got out at 159.976. 159.976, boom, right there. Not bad at all. It's still over a 1 to 2 risk to reward. And I got out in this little consolidation here. I literally talked about this in my stories. I was like, yo, you know, guys, like, I think I might just get out now because I think we are going to get a pullback because the market moves in waves. And yeah, you'll get the wave up, but at one point you have to know that it's the right time to exit, because then you're going to get a pullback down before the next wave to the bullish side. So I thought it was literally going to come down, retrace into 159.600, and then go all the way up to 160.200. But it actually just consolidated for a bit and continued to go bullish, which means that my analysis was so correct that it actually just pushed up straight there. But I played it safe by exiting at the consolidation. The thing is, like I said, the market moves in waves, but the market will also give you hints when it's slowing down and when it's going to start to pull back. So I usually like to take those hints and just close out at those pullbacks. But in this case, obviously, it kind of bit me in the ass a bit because I got out well below what I could have made on this trade. I could have made at least an extra $6,000 because 14K divided by 2. All right, so that's 7K for every 1 R. And I could have easily had like a 2.8. Yeah, so literally 6K I missed out on. 6K. But I know that that rule right there saves me a lot of profit, because a lot of people think about losing trades or a negative trade, but not that many people think about the fact about when you're up in profit and then the market goes against you and then you lose the profit that you were up. That feels just as bad, because imagine seeing 10K on the MetaTrader and then that 10K goes all the way back down to 4K. You just essentially lost $6,000. And don't tell me that you don't feel emotion when you feel that, because that shit happens to me all of the time. And I know exactly how that feels like. Then you get super emotional, and now you're not going to close out unless it goes back up to that 10K. So I'm still glad that I closed out there. And this was a very, very beautiful trade for me. This trade right here made my entire week, because as you're going to see now on my next trade, NZDCAD, this one is still running right now. I have not closed out of this setup because I think it has such good potential to go bullish in the week. Now, whatever may happen, may happen. You know, if it decides to reverse, that's fine. But we've broken above my area of interest, my area of resistance. We're going bullish. We've rejected the downside on the daily. Remember how I said I always start on the daily time frame? Well, let's start on the daily time frame. We had somewhat of a bearish trend on the daily, but as we've been coming into this zone and into this huge psychological level, which is 0.81 thousand, we've been starting to see massive rejections. Those rejections simply tell me, look, we're going to go up. We're going to go bullish. So because of that, I started to look for entries. But I am following my ride the wave strategy. I'm not taking the buy on the first higher low. If not, I would have entered in here. I'm taking the buy on the second higher low. That's exactly what I did here once we got that break and retest of 81,600. So let's just recap. Daily time frame. It's not a bullish trend, but we have big rejections to the downside. Specifically, right here, we rejected. The bullish candle engulfs the previous daily candle, which was bearish. We have rejections to the downside. This candle made a bottom wick and then started going bullish. 4-hour time frame goes bullish, huge candles. This just shows me buyers are in control. It's not sellers. Buyers are in control. The size of the candles tells you who's in control. We got that breakout, and then I'm here watching the 1 hour. I also look at the 2 hour a lot, but let's just go to the 1 hour. We got that breakout. I didn't like this first move down here because it was just like a red candle. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna buy off a big red candle and then like a small little green candle. Let me just get closer so you guys can see it. So I was not gonna get in right there, but after we formed a series of little candles, I was like, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna enter in long. And then I got a bearish engulfing candlestick right off of my entry. That's literally the worst feeling ever. But you know, it is going to happen sometimes regardless. So I'm just used to it by this point. We had hella drawdown. I thought I was going to lose this trade, but thankfully my stop loss saved me. And then we started to trade above. Right now, I'm up 3.4K on this trade. 3.4. The lot size is pretty high because this is such a small stop loss. It's only 18 pips. And I'm in at 803. So my entry is 803. There's a really good entry for this because if my projections are correct, this market is going to go bullish. It'll make a pullback and then it'll go straight up to 82,200, which would make me over 40 pips, which for this specific setup is a 1 to 2.4 risk to reward. And my profit on that would probably be close to 20,000, which would be one of my biggest trades in a while. So that's why I'm very excited about this one, but at the same time, I want to see how it opens up in the new trading week. But those are the two trades that I took last week. As you see, only one of them has played out, but it played out amazing. I did not take any losses last week. It's literally been insane, the results that I've been having recently. Yes, sure, I did have a loss, like a 6 or 7K, no, 6.4K loss, give or take a couple hundred last week. But that's not a lot. That's really not a lot. The only thing that made that trade feel worse was the fact that I was up 7 or 8K at one point, and then it went all the way back down to losing 6K. That's what I'm telling you. It feels worse when you're in profit and then you lose those profits, and then the trade turns into a loss. But doesn't mean you should always go break even. I literally think it's just part of the game, and we just have to get used to it. But all in all, though, the trading has been really, really good because I've just been locked in, no distractions, like I said in the intro. But yo, so I'll see you in the next video. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next. And yeah, let's have a good trading week again.